All right, so right, there's no beret today. Luckily, the wind is blowing away from the base. How are we doing, ladies, gents, teddy bears? Welcome to the Ted Coningsby channel. My name's Nikos, cameraman and commentator, and we've got a very sort of flustered Ted at the moment. He's it is extremely, insanely brutal, the wind at the moment. It's really harsh. So I've got the tripod at its lowest point to sustain some weight and a bit more of a better center of gravity. And I'm actually on my hands and knees at the moment. So because this is awful. Trust me, it is brutal, man. Startups. Here we go. Hang in there, Ted, mate. Hang in there, mate. Welcome to the start of the week. It is extremely windy, and I hope you're all good, and I hope you're all well. A big shout out to everyone on at RAF Marham. Hope you're all good. Wow, it's very challenging up here, but just to get down to seriousness, ladies, gents, teddy bears, with all things that have been going on, and you know, there's no way we can, you know, not mention it with the things that have been going on. It is a very different time for a hobby as well as what we do and our general everyday life, and we have to be extremely careful and vigilant when you are plane spotting. Be extremely vigilant. I've mentioned it before many times anyway, but I've always said, you know, you just be a little bit vigilant, but also if you are going to suspect something, to make sure that you don't put yourselves in any danger. All right, a little tip that I read from Leeming, from their little leaflet, which was so good, really good. They recommended that you do this discreetly and do it somewhere else if you have to drive away to report anything, and just be extra vigilant. You know, see who exactly isn't really plane spotted. You know exactly what I'm trying to say. I don't want to, you know, say it in the wrong way, because it could come across very different, but you know exactly what I mean. Sadly, it's something that I will have to mention at all times, to be aware of what's around you. Okay, times have changed, unfortunately, at the moment. Okay, times have sadly changed, and we've got to be extra vigilant. My process of contacting the base goes a long way. They know they know where I am, what I'm doing, and I am subject to their approval. Okay, so I can't just go and you know, just set up like this. It would be the most silliest thing to do, and to save the embarrassment of being told to leave. So which is why I've always done it from day one. It's the right thing to do. You know, ultimately I don't want to film anything that they don't want me to, so this is sadly the times that we've got at the moment, I'm afraid. But do be careful out here. I know that those that are new to the exciting world of military aviation plane spotting, it's a lot really exciting, isn't it? But sadly it does have situations like what we've got to deal with at the moment. So just keep a lookout. If you see anything or anyone suspicious, don't make it too obvious, you know, like trying to take a photo of these people or get registration, VRN numbers, etc. Just be careful out there, please. You know, if you have to just drive off, you know, those that are attempting to fly a drone, those who are attempting to just look like they're up to no good, just scouting around. I'm not saying they may not have a camera, because maybe that could be part of a, I don't know, blend in, you know, maybe they are looking like they're plane spotting. But I just like everyone to take care out there, be careful, even for myself. You know, you just don't know what people are capable of with that mentality, unfortunately, and we just have to protect each other and of course our good friends of the Royal Air Force. So we have to make sure if we spot anything suspicious, maybe I haven't spotted something behind me, let me know and I'll go and deal with it. Right now my concern is the wind. Goodness me, I'm hanging in there. Rack 'em. So a very good day, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're watching from in the world. We welcome you to the Ted Coningsby channel. My name's Nikos, cameraman, historian and commentator for the channel. And of course we've just had our squadron leader Ted Coningsby, who's up against it in this wind, because I don't think he, not that we like to talk about people's weight, but he's not the most heaviest, and he's looking at me funny right now. So we do have startups, finally. This is the thing, you know, Marham is a quieter base, which is why, you know, you have to just kind of go with it, you know. If you get lucky, you get lucky. If you don't, there is another day. Ladies, sheds and teddy bears, as we mean to go on though. Don't forget to hit the like button, everyone. Start smashing that like button. Let's get this stream up there. And we are very close to 99k. Very, very close. RAF Marham dates his history back all the way to 1916 as a Royal Flying Corps base, a Royal Flying Corps station, a fighter town, a night fighter and training grounds to protect and defend Norfolk from the Zeppelin raids, along with other Royal Flying Corps stations dotted about Norfolk. Whoa. RAF Marham is home to 3 flying units. So 617 Dambusters Squadron, they don't need much of an introduction, with the likes of taking part in the Dambuster raid, taking part in, along with 9 Squadron, to sink the Tirpitz, with their wing commander Guy Gibson operating most of their campaigns at RAF Woodhall Spa, a satellite station to Coningsby, with them operating from Coningsby on their new runways, and then eventually Woodhall Spa, as we know. Next we got 207 Squadron, the operational conversion unit, so the F-35B's answer to 29 Squadron, shall we say, of the Typhoon. I may have said that in a completely bad sentence, but they are the operational conversion unit for the F-35B, but for both the Royal Navy and the Royal Air Force. Next up we got 809 Immortals. That's right, a Naval Air Squadron who took part in the Falklands stood up in 2023 in December. And I failed to mention 207 Squadron being the first squadron to operate the Avro Manchester. Echo Mike were their World War II markings of their bombers. That's 207 Squadron. 617 Squadron's markings were Alpha Juliet AJ and also Yankee Zulu when operating with the 22,000 pounder Grand Slam. Oh yeah. Windy. Oh yeah. Yeah, so I've got everything on a low, on the low here. I'm gonna move that down a little bit. Yes, I've got the tripod at its lowest. I haven't opened it up just to protect it. I've tied it down as well, so we should be all right. Oh my goodness me! Woo! We got, it feels like between sort of 30 and 35 miles per hour at the moment, or maybe more, maybe a bit more. So it looks like we got 207 Squadron, the operational conversion unit. So the pilots, just like from RAF Bally, once they've passed their advanced flying training, essentially getting their wings, they are professionals. If their career path is the F-35B, they will come here and fly or train and to fly and try to qualify with the F-35B Lightning. So the F-35B, that's our Stovall variant. Ah yes, short takeoff and vertical landing, and that's all thanks to the not only the Pratt & Whitney F135, it is a PW600 variant with Rolls-Royce adding the fan, adding the lift to the whole system. So we've got a practice diversion coming up as well from Cranwell, the Embraer Phenom.
Now these are powered by the Pratt & Whitney's F135PW 600. It's a 2-spool axial flow augmented turbofan with the shaft-driven remote lift fan. Now the length of this engine is almost double of the F-35's Pratt & Whitney F135PW 100. So the length of this in both inches and meters is 369 inches. That's 9.37 meters. Whereas the PW 100 variant is only at 220 inches, that's 5.59 meters. That is incredible. Absolute beast, isn't it? Amazing. The whole lift system itself, which we'll talk about in just a moment, there are a few slight differences along with the pressure ratio, the compression ratio. Just one more on the powered lift at 29:1. Standard it's 28, just like the PW 100 variant, but on this one, when it goes to power lift, it goes to 29:1. So for those who don't know, that means that's how much it squashes, or shall we say, but for better terms, compresses the air once sucked in. So it squeezes it 29 times. Ah yes. So if we had, yep, oh yes, so 100 cubic. So I'm just trying to get my breath back. So basically one cubic amount of air, one centimeter or 1 meter cube, let's for argument's sake, that was 29. Oh yes, that was 29 cubic meters of air. That is impressive. Can you imagine that? So 29 cubic meters has been shrunk down to 1 meter cubed. That is impressive. Just think about that for a minute. You know, just think how much, just think of scuba diving tanks, how much air is actually in those tanks. Amazing. Here we go. I'm going to take a sit down. I'm going to do this on the ground, man. That is just ridiculous. Yeah, sorry about this. One sec, it is really bad. Just one sec. Here we go. That'll be better, won't it? Like that. Here we go. Got a lorry here. Come on, look at this. I mean, you are not parking there, surely. No way, it is as well. Oh. Nice. Oh well. It's actually going to park there. Might be able to stand up and get a... They are actually parking there. You are joking me. You are joking. Okay. Oh, I might be able to... No, we're not. We're not going to be able to clear that. You are joking me. Oh well. You can't write this or make this up, right? Here we go. I'll just have to just... best as I can do in that wind. Yeah, go on, you can go now. Typical. Oh well. One more go. There we go. So a bit like Waddington, a nice little Waddington start then. Going to check if we've got, I think we got Cromwell perhaps coming in on a PD. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Or maybe not. Oh, it is as well. Wow, it is absolutely brutal. I hope you're okay there. Welcome to the Ted Coningsby channel. It's going to be one of those. It reminds me of the last time I had this was at Waddington. It was like this. Do you remember? And I had it again on the lowest there. Yeah, so we could be getting Cromwell 3.8. Embraer Phenom. This operates from RAF Cromwell, and it trains the pilots to go on to the heavies at Bryce Norton with 24 Squadron, which this too is an operational conversion unit, and they will basically go on to the A400 Atlas or the C-17, and the Phenom, the Embraer Phenom that they're flying, which I'm hoping to see shortly, is very similar layout, or has similar layout to the A400 Atlas. So we don't have many to go for 99k, just a good 40 of you, 40 new recruits to subscribe, which is indeed free. If you know anyone that would like to, or is interested in aviation and of course military, then this could be the channel for them. So never know, it's early days, we could even do it tomorrow morning, we don't know. There is no stream tomorrow, we're back on Wednesday due to some very emotional weather heading our way, which I'll be honest with you, we do need it, we do need the rain, and I get it. Dare I say that, but there you go. But we do miss the rain when it's not here, and don't when it is here. You know how it is. But there we go. That's, I guess, you know, that's one thing that adds to this country's lush greenery, and that's what makes it so nice and green. Right, let me have a look where this Phenom is. Yeah, it should be just turning in now. Thanks a lot for joining us, by the way, ladies, gents, teddy bears. It's a massive, massive honour to have you here today with us. And we've had 2 F-35s, which is probably what I expected anyway today. So let's see if we get that, they get them both coming back as a vertical landing. Now there are 3 landing pads here with diameters. They are square pads at 67 by 67 meters. The actual landing zone inside is 30.5 meters. So that's your stats. Just waiting for our Phenom. I'll try and stand up for this one. Goodness me. Sure it was on its way. Oh, here it is up here. Practice diversion now from the Embraer Phenom, call sign Cranwell 38, I think it was. I'll just keep an eye on it. Oh man, it's gonna be like a workout today. It may be just the 2 that we get today, the F-35Bs, and it is quite a challenge today, I tell you. So let's have a little look at the F-35B, ladies, sheds of teddy bears. Look at this. There's our F-35B. This is, oh my goodness me, it's actually trying to come out, like literally take off out of my hand. Wow, that's not very good, is it? There's our F-35B Ladies, Gents and Teddy Bears. This is the short takeoff and vertical landing. So it's known as a STOVL aircraft. This is the F-35B. It's the only base here in the UK that operates them. The ones at RAF Lakenheath, they're actually the F-35A. That's a conventional takeoff and landing aircraft. So that's pretty much your standard. It doesn't have an internal cannon, all right, the F-35B. It's missing. You can see that bulge that's usually on there for the cannon. It's not there, the GAU-22, which is amazing. Absolutely amazing. So this is our F-35B Ladies, Gents and Teddy Bears, an amazing 5th generation stealth fighter, the only 5th gen. Oh, our Phenom's coming back. Oh, that's nice. Hang on. Went out quite far out, didn't it? It has slightly different stats because of the weight that's been applied from the huge Pratt & Whitney PW600. So that's why it's had a bit of weight reduction, and we'll talk about that in just a sec, as we want to give you facts on the F-35B when we're looking at a Phenom. Oh, let's try and let's try and stand up for this one. Yeah, it's got very different stats to the A and the C, the F-35B. The F-35B doesn't have an arrestor hook. The other two, of course, do. Although the F-35C, may I add, is the heavier one of the two. Due to the size of it, it's bigger than the other two. The airframe is heavier, it's been strengthened, and that's all thanks to the fact that it is a carrier variant, the F-35C. Yeah, we're just gonna sit down for this one. Wow. The F-35B and the F-35C, they both use drogue and probe for air-to-air refueling, but of course the F-35B is the only one that can hover. But it does have, you know, some compromises. So it has less payload, less combat range, the F-35B, but it can hover. You can park it at your local supermarket if you've got clearance. Nice. looks like he'll be with us for a little bit as it's turning round again for more circuits, I believe. So this is known as the Phenom T1. It did take over from the multi-engine aircrew training duties from the King Air B200 at Cranwell. It's got a touchscreen cockpit, comprehensive navigation and communications and flight safety suite. So very, very similar layout and capability of what would be for the A400 Atlas, onto which students will progress to. Powered by two Pratt & Whitney Canada PW617F turbofan engines, rated at 1,695 pounds of thrust, wingspan at 12.3 meters. There it comes round. This is a challenge, man. Oh my word. Emotional out there, doesn't it? Look at this. Oh, I hope that cloud don't come near me. Yeah, and then you've got nice emotion. Nice emotion. Even the birds are struggling to fly in this. This is a new technique, hands and knees filming. Literally, I'm on my knees filming this. tight break there, wasn't it? Nice run and break. Beautiful. Below the trees, it's just out of our sight at the minute. Possible touch and go. Another circuit. Oh my word. Another touch and go coming up. How we doing? Is it windy where you're watching from? Let us know. Goodness me. It's certainly strong in here. Just about caught a glimpse of that. We'll wait for it. This will train the pilot to get used to other airfields, getting in lots of takeoff and landings in one sortie, and training them to be having the second nature approach to emergencies if they have to initiate a touch and go. Yeah, up here it's a different story.
Yeah, I'm only in Swafford, around the corner. I'm sitting in the garden peaceful.
Matt, it's
crazy.
yeah, it is.
Get it now. Doing, ladies, gents, teddy bears, hope we're all good. And today is going to be like a workout, just trying to hang in there as best as I can. Lake and Heath is not far away, so you will, and Mildenhall, so you will get to and hear some traffic now and again from going to and fro Lake and Heath or Mildenhall. Woo! Hopefully we're going to get some vertical landings. I'll talk to you through the avionics and the wonderful engine of the F-35B with the Rolls-Royce lift system. I'll have a look at that in just a moment as soon as the Phenom has finished its PD.
streams like this that I'm going to be aching tomorrow, just to where you're trying to keep tense to try to keep your balance and keep the camera still. You know how it is. Right, have a look what we got. How we doing, ladies, gents, and teddy bears? Let's have a quick look if that's it for the Phenom. Oi oi to everyone, thank you very much. Oh, it's coming back round. It wants more. Getting a good portion of circuits here, more circuits than the Formula 1 at this rate, the Embraer Phenom. Go. Welcome to RAF Marham. Goodness me, it's so strange when that wind just stops for a second. Right, it's like, oh, we're used to this, and then suddenly boom. But welcome, ladies and teddy bears. Ted Coningsby channel live here at RAF Marham. Hope we're all good. We've got ourselves a Embraer Phenom from RAF Framwell on the controls, doing a series of circuits. Here we go again. This looks possibly like a touch and go. Waiting for it to come round. Be it. I'll keep a lookout. Ah, there. for those wondering about aircraft above, you've got to take into account that. So you may be looking at ADSB, that it's there. Yeah, you've got to remember the reality, and a big tree behind me. That's probably why. If I could see it, I'll show you it. Go. And don't forget, Lakenheath and Mildenhall are not far away, and it's very common to see them in the overhead on a clear day, or if they're quite low. See them quite regularly. The Embraer Phenom keeping us entertained there now. Just gonna just have a little check where the F-35s are. Just 1 second. Yeah, they're just here. Here we go, low brake. I might stand up for this. Oh. It'll be a low brake. Here we go. And it'll be quite nice. Here we go. System activated, Stovall mode. Here we go. Right, what we're gonna get? What we're gonna get? Are we gonna get vertical landings? Let's have a look. It'll be good if we do. It'll be marvelous. Will it be a land? Let's have a look. beautiful. That's what I'm talking about. The Rolls-Royce and Pratt & Whitney engineering working in harmony. You enjoyed that. That was incredible. It never gets tiring to see that. All about the landings here, you know. We go to Lake Heath on Fridays, all about the climbing, all about the takeoffs, all about the climb outs, and Coningsby with the PTOs. But here it's all about the stovall, it's all about the landings, you know. Amazing that they're so still in these winds. It's at least, it's around between 30 and 35 miles per hour, no doubt. And we'll talk you through the lift system and show you how it works with my F-35B model, for those that don't know. But it's pretty much like having a helicopter in there. It's got two downwards thrusts, and I'll talk to you how it all works and what it does, what makes it hover. Hope you enjoyed that. Was sensational. That's right, it ain't no bother to hover with these, and it's, you know, when you combine 5th generation stealth into this, it's remarkable, absolutely remarkable. Thanks a lot, Matthew, thanks a lot for all your kind words. You know how it is. These can, so the Harrier, of course, can only hover for about 90 seconds before the water was exhausted. It used water as a coolant system. With these, we can just keep going. I don't know what the record is there. I mean, it can just keep going as long as, you know, everything's fine with the fuel, nothing's overheating. It can just keep going. There isn't really a, you know, but why would it hover for 15 minutes anyway? Why do you need to do that? You know, it's not necessary, but it doesn't, it's not really restricted in hover mode, in stovall mode. But there we go. Now the bypass in the power lift is a lot lower than your standard F-35 with the Pratt & Whitney PW PW100. So the PW100's bypass ratio on its engine is 57:1, where it's 56 on the F-35B's PW600 engine and 0.51 on the power lift mode, and it uses the bypassed air. Actually, let me show you what it does. Let's just show you, because I've got it here. So here's our F-35B model. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. And there we go. So there's quite a few differences with height. The payload's less on this. It's quite it's heavier than the A variant. I'm pretty sure it's had weight reduction on the stabilizers, and it doesn't have as much. The payload is reduced as well. I believe the fuel and the range is a little bit reduced as well, but nevertheless, this doesn't have any bother or hover. So it's got basically if we show you the F135 engine, which is about from here to, let's have a look. So there's from here to here. Okay, bearing in mind we got the nozzle exhaust here. If we took that out of the equation, we're talking about between here, that's our, sorry about it, it's so windy, and then our lift system is all the way out here, all the way there. So it's almost double the size, you know, just under 10 meters. That's nearly the wingspan of a Typhoon, you know. Oh, obviously a meter less, but it's from here to here, whereas the PW100 is just this, and I'll show you and I'll explain, and then the PW600 is all the way out here, okay, right up to here. And basically it's Rolls-Royce that put in the vertical lift. It is a descendant from the Pegasus engine, and the Rolls-Royce lift system is the only vertical lift technology for fighter jets in production in the world. And it's the performance as well. The lift system comes in part of the latest and greatest in their digital control and fan system technology, and it delivers a responsive, a very precise, as you've seen, in all weathers, and powerful short takeoff as well, and vertical landing, which is called a STOVL. Now, I do get asked this many times, can it take off vertically? It can, but it doesn't, and I'll explain why in just a moment. But the short takeoff and vertical landing capability has minimal impact on the total airframe weight, which is why it chooses to do a short takeoff rather than a vertical takeoff. Now, the system is a descendant of the Pegasus engine. It comprises of the following, which I'll show you. So it's got the lift fan itself, which is in here, the auxiliary air intake in here, and you'll see the shaft, which I'll show you in just a moment. It's got the drive shaft, a free bearing swivel module. Now, it's quite clever. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, thrust vectoring, but it's done with a bit of a difference. It is absolutely amazing. It's got the roll posts, added blue tack as well for to stick onto ceilings. So let's have a little look what's going on here. Okay, so when our F-35B is coming into land, the first thing you may notice, apart from the gear, the landing gear, it needs to have the landing gear down because that's part of the process. Tower will not clear them to land if they don't have their landing gear down, okay? So they have to have that, but it can actually hover without the landing gear. Now, the blue tack is optional. Now then, the first thing that opens is the auxiliary air intake, which is in here. That opens up, okay? Now, that pipe, right, or that's your shaft. That connects our lift fan to the Pratt & Whitney F135 PW600, okay? This is the 600 variant in this one. This is what delivers 29 shaft horsepower to the lift fan itself, okay? Now, when that opens, of course, this opens underneath here, and our lift system, the hood opens. It's a 50-inch counter-rotating blades, like a hollow blade system. This is almost like, you could say it's almost like having a helicopter in here, okay, because it's spinning, bringing all that power to their 29,000 pounds of shaft horsepower. And underneath here you've got the grill, so it's like either having a jet engine, but it's been aligned vertically, okay? So there's thrust number one. All right, just a quick one before we move on. There's these little grills here. Now, they move forward and back, and that actually controls the forward and back motion in when it hovers. Okay, this is an auxiliary air intake, which is why this opens. They also had many different designs for this as well. Okay, now also while that's going on at the back, our free BSM, our free bearing swivel module in 95 degrees in just 2.5 seconds. Now it's called a free BSM. I might have to get a model. There it is in Stovall mold. That pushes down, so you've got your thrust going here and here. That is what makes it hover. You've got your elevators here that control. Now I mentioned roll posts. They're here, these little bits here. All right, just next to the rear, the landing gear at the back. They're these little posts. Now that bypass that goes through is used so it can maneuver left and right in hover mode. So you got your left and right, and that's why it can hover. It's pushing down the thrust here and here. Now the reason why it's called a free BSM, if it was just like I'm going to move it like that, it would be out of control. It actually spins in 3 different parts. It rotates in 3 different sections. Have a look at a video. It is amazing. It really is. 45 degrees for short takeoff mode, or completely straight down for hover mode, and that's why it can hover. It is absolutely amazing technology. It really is. Now, as you can see, and I've mentioned about radar cross section, you've got so many zigzags and jagged edges to give a low cross section. Even here on the auxiliary air intake, even here, even on the landing gear when that opens, all have these serrations, because you don't want flat edges. Even here, even the exhaust nozzle. Now then, you're probably thinking, hang on a minute, Nikos, that looks nice and rounded. Correct, and you wouldn't be wrong in saying that, but they tried it, but it wasn't sucking enough air properly, so they kept it rounded. It was a better airflow for it, so they had to have a bit of a compromise with that. All right, so that's why. Okay, so I hope that makes sense with all of you. Again, it doesn't vertically take off, even though it can if it had to. If it had no payload and, you know, really needed to do a vertical takeoff, it can do, because it's got less weight. But fully loaded, fully fueled, it won't be able to do it, so it will do a short takeoff. So you put the free BSM in 45-degree angle like this, like there, and up it goes in just a few seconds. It is really impressive. If you thought the Typhoon from brakes from 8 seconds brake release, this is just as good, just as impressive. It really is. And we've got a video that we've made here. We've added rain to make it even more dynamic. So it is amazing. You know, like I said, it's just phenomenal. With 40,000 pounds of combined short takeoff and vertical landing pounds of thrust, it's slightly less, by about just short of 3,000 pounds of thrust with the afterburner, from, I think it's about 41,000 pound of thrust max, I think it is, with afterburner on this. Like I said, 29,000 shaft horsepower delivered to the lift fan, thanks to Pratt & Whitney's engine. 2.5 seconds for the 95-degree angle. It is a one of a kind. It's capable of delivering just 20,000 pound of cold thrust. The 50-inch diameter 2-stage counter-rotating fan in there. It's amazing. It really is, and it features a thrust vectoring, like we said. It really is a fantastic piece of engineering. And it can hover without the landing gear, by the way. The reason why we see that at air shows and here, it is, well, one, for air shows they have to have the landing gear down for safety. Can you imagine that? Yes, for safety reasons. Oh, just hanging on in here. It really is a bit of a struggle today, but let's see what we're going to get. So for stealth reasons, it doesn't have 4 planes or canards. It doesn't have them. I think the J20 might have it, or the Cheng, the China. I think so. I can't remember how to pronounce that one, but it, you know, this is yeah, the, what was I going to say? Okay, so someone's asked about, yeah, it doesn't really need them. There is a let's just talk stealth here for a minute. For those that someone asked, it's got no, right, so it doesn't have them, all right. It doesn't need them on here because it's got elevators, all right. It doesn't have canards or foreplanes because it has elevators. The Typhoon doesn't have the elevators, so it has to control the pitch. It has foreplanes here, all right. Now the thing is, if you start doing that, you're gonna affect the airflow, and we've spoken about radar cross section with the boundary layer. If you did that, it will affect the radar cross section of this, because it's going to divert the air differently, okay. And with this, you're going to need as much air. Excuse me. If you put 4 planes on this, you're going to affect your airflow on there, so it wouldn't really. I know a lot of stealth air, I think there's only one stealth aircraft I can think of that has the 4 planes. But for me, looking at radar cross section, I don't think it's the greatest idea in the world, but there we go. One sec, I'm just going to get some water. Sorry, just 1 second. Just need a tissue. Yeah, thanks for your questions. If you got any questions about radar cross section, stealth aircraft, F-35s, the differences A, B and C, Neil Garland's asked a question. Neil Garland about, okay, so for those wondering, because I do get asked this, where do I get the models from? They are from actually they're from museums, heritage centres, eBay, Vinted, all they're from everywhere. They're different brands. I don't really mind if they're second hand and a bit battered, because they get a little they've had a bit of TLC, so they're not one brand fits all that I accumulate. Okay, so they are a range, and I do have to thank a massive, can we just have a massive shout out, maybe check out AGR Models, Jeff from AGR. Let me just double check I've got his details here. Jeff from AGR Models, the legend, who supplied a lot of our models and a lot of our models for our TCS party as well. So a big shout out to Jeff at AGR Models. So if you got any questions about the F-35, just let me know. Thanks a lot everyone for the support. Oh my word, I've got a really dry throat. Oh dear. you want to risk it. Ted's going to try it. Going to try doing his guards marches with his beret. Fair play, Ted. Only the brave. And guards march to Margot. Thank you very much for the super news. But here's to a great weekend for everyone. Well said. Thank you very much. Sorry, here's to a great week for everyone. I was going to say we just had a weekend. Thanks a lot, Margot. Guards march. Davey H, high five. Welcome to the Ted Coningsby Squadron Guards march. Thank you so much, Davey. Thanks for joining us. Muriel Hudson, thank you very much. A Guards march. Oi, oi, Nikos and everyone. Hold on to your barriers. Thank you, darling. Thanks for your 9 months membership and regards to the whole family. J Dog, member for 20 months and also part of our fighter squadron. Is this the 100k week? Hopefully. Amazing TCS, deserve it. Guards march, thanks a lot, J Dog, and thank you for being a member of our fighter squadron as well. It's really, really amazing support, that. Thank you. And Lilo Doublefly, high five, paw pump, and a salute for gifting 10 Ted Coningsby memberships. Guards march, thank you so much. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you're all good and well. Oh my word, goodness me. Right, what we'll do, Ted reckons we'll just hang in there for 25 minutes. Oh my god, I think the wind's taken out of my throat. Oh. Also, I tell you what, this might be a little bit graphic, but I had that wind was blowing so hard underneath my glasses that it was literally flicking or flipping my eyelid, like as though I was doing some sort of skydive or something. That really, really, completely was awful, that. Oh, it's Jeff AGI, he is! One second, Jeff, let me go and get... let me just go and get the a model from Jeff. It's our new model that we've got. Hang on. Oh my word. Oh, it's nice down here. Whew. Now then, if I can get this without an issue, we should be alright. I'm going to have to take it out of the box because that's just going to go, sorry for the pun, that's just going to go flying, isn't it? Mind you, it's a bit of a heavy one. Oh dear. So Jeff from AGR, another fantastic donation. Thank you so much, Jeff. Honestly, couldn't do any of our little model explanations. This is our. We finally got an F-35A, and it was sent by Jeff. AGR models, absolutely incredible. And what we've got here, we can have a look inside the weapons bay. Look at this. Of the F-35A. For those wondering, all 3 variants are max speed at Mach 1.6, but their G ratings are different. I don't think these are to scale. No, sadly not. These are not to scale. They should be slightly the same size, very, very slightly. There's our B. And the let's have a look at some of the differences. Now, don't be fooled by the size, because that is a bit of a misconception there. But the F-35A has a G rating of +9, the F-35B at +7, the F-35C, which is massive compared to these two, that has a G rating of 7.5. And in true style, I'm completely destroying. The F-35A is air-to-air refueled with a boomstick, so it just sits just here. Of course, you can't air-to-air refuel with boomstick the F-35B because of all the lift system, so it does have a drogue and probe here, same as the F-35C. all right, so there's a few differences there. The F-35A does have an arrestor hook, the F-35B doesn't. The F-35C has, but it's completely different. The F-35C has about a meter, 1.4 meters, is about 8 foot, so 4 foot extra wingspan than the other two, which means the wing area is massive. They're folding wings, all right, for space saving, so you can put it in your pocket. But the F-35C is the only one to have a wing flaps, because it's so big. Larger wings, larger wing area, larger wingspan for greater lift. Don't forget, it's on a carrier. Now the F-35C is a lot heavier because the airframe has been strengthened, okay, because it needs to cope with the stresses of the catapult. Let me just put this one down. Let's just show our new one. Because of the stresses of the catapult and to be caught. I might need to glue that actually, yeah. Because of the stresses that it has operating from the catapult mechanism, and also to be to catch the cable, as we say, right? It's a very different arrestor hook, okay, very different. And the airframe is strengthened, like the F-18 as well. The carrier variants, the carrier versions, they've got a very different airframe. You try to land an A with an arrestor hook, it'll probably damage the aircraft, okay? So it's very, very different in that respect. But this is our A variant. There's our cannon. Look at that, you can see that really clearly. The GAU 22A 25mm with that. Forgot the name of it. Forgot the name of the armor piercing rounds that it's got, but really, really nice to see it. There's the bulge that I was on about there, and there for the for the boundary layer. You can actually probably just see it a bit more here. It's for the boundary layer, which again, that can heat up, cause a few problems to your engine if you didn't have it. The Typhoon has the splitter diverter. It's got like a little scoop. What else have we got here? But yeah, you can see the radar absorbing tape. Very well done. It's brilliant, and that's all thanks to AGR Models. Thank you very much. So maybe get in contact with AGR Models for your modelling needs. So let's have a look. I've got some of your questions. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at your questions if you got any. I think someone asked about. Let's have a look. I think there was another one. I got the speed. It was wee Stevie boy, wasn't it? Adrian Anderson, who's put, hi Nikos, can you go from flying a Typhoon to F-35B or once you are assigned? You have to apply and then you have to qualify. So you will then go to, no, so if you are a Typhoon pilot, you will then go to the 207 operational conversion unit, or vice versa. If you're an F-35B pilot and are going to transition to the Typhoon, you still have to be qualified. There's not one, you know, even to fly the Lancaster, for example, just because they fly frontline fighter jets doesn't mean they can just sit in a Lancaster and fly it. They need to be qualified onto that. So the answer for that is they would need to go to an OCU if they are going to get the go-ahead and transition and, you know, start with the operational conversion unit. Phil Drill, the Harrier could only hover for around 90 seconds as the, I can't remember how many gallons of water it had to help it assist to cool down, to hover the water jet system to do that. Once it ran out, I think it was something like 90 seconds. Tim Firkins, Nikos, does the F-35 on hover have to face into the wind, or does it okay, so it's actually, so the F-35B's flight control system does all the hard work on that respect. It will find the best positioning and usually it will point into the wind of if it's really strong crosswinds. Now it does have, if I remember correctly, it does have limits, the F-35B in hover mode. Like, I mean, if it's like 50 miles per hour, I mean, I don't think no matter what technology you've got, you're going to struggle in that. Even if you're coming in on a direct landing, especially on crosswinds. But usually on really strong winds like this, you'll see the F-35 start to turn into the wind a little bit. I think we've seen that today. So the flight control system, the brain of the management system, will actually do all that work and, you know, turn into what it thinks is the best and suitable stable hover mode. Good questions, good questions. Love them. Matthew, yeah, A10, nice. It is very breezy out here. So we'll just stay for another, we'll stay until 2 o'clock just to see if we got anything else, but it's certainly been a challenge here. Da, 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 da. Actually, if I turn this round, I'm actually just sat down here. Oh, I'm just sat down on my knees here, look man. This is gonna be... How we doing? Look at the state of that windswept air, look at this. Woo! You know how it is. Goodness me, it's awful. Woo! Yeah, I've been filming on my knees, right? It's been really challenging today. But I've done this before at RAF Waddington. My name's Nick, I'm your cameraman, historian and commentator, and I hope you're all good, ladies, gents and teddy bears. Hope we're well and all good. I won't be able to have all the models up here because they'll just literally, sorry for the pun, take an unexpected flight. Really crazy winds. It's been really bad. But some of them are alright. I think I've got a Mosquito that's quite heavy that I can show that was here. I mean, there's been plenty of aircraft here that have come and gone during the time. I mean, we're talking about a base that was here in 1916 as it operated, as it dates its history all the way back there, and it started as an RFC, Royal Flying Corps base. It was part of a fighter town, but after that, during the Second World War, you'll get to learn that it was actually Bomber County, good old Norfolk, hey. But it was serving as a defender of Norfolk. And it was built close to the Royal Naval Air Station Narborough, which later changed its name to Royal Air Force Station. It's literally just over there, about a couple of miles that way, the way the absolute still backwards crow was flying. But it was built to defend against the Zeppelin raids. And the first Royal Flying Corps unit to operate at Marham was number 51 Squadron. Now, aircraft such as the Royal Aircraft Factory FE2B were flown here, which was a biplane, which was like a night bomber and a night fighter aircraft. It was powered by a Beardmore 6-cylinder water-cooled inline piston engine, and it had a good 160 horsepower. Now, I don't know what it'll be like flying in these conditions, but Marham also served as a training base for night flying with squadrons 51, 190, 191, 193, who were training squadrons based at Marham. Now, during the First World War, the Royal Air Force reformed on the 1st of April 1918 as the Royal Flying Corps merged with the RNAS, and that's all thanks to Sir Hugh Trenchard, the founder, the godfather, and the founder, of course, of the Royal Air Force. When the end of the First World War came on Armistice Day, Marham bombed Narborough with bags of flour, and eventually in return Narborough thought, hang on a minute, we better bomb you back. So they bombed Marham with bags of soot, and the last Squadron 51 left Marham in 1919 and the aerodrome closed. But it took a while to come back yet, and after the First World War, the UK had around 300 military aerodromes, and by 1924 they were just reduced to 27. But while things were settling down, there had to be careful consideration into the thought of possibilities of another world war, and the new RAF airfields were about to be recommissioned, and the AMAB, that's the Air Ministry Aerodromes Board, was created. In 1935, RAF's pre-war expansion scheme included Waddington, Feltwell and Marham, and it was 38 Squadron who were operating the Handley Page Hayfords at Mildenhall. They arrived here as the new residents of Marham with the Fairey Hendon bombers. Now, the B flight of 38 Squadron reformed to make a new squadron, which today are based at RAF Wittering, flying the Grob Tutor. And it was number 115 Squadron that was formed from B flight with the Handley Page Harrows. By 1939, both squadrons received the world's fastest assembled bomber, the Vickers Wellington bomber. And normally I'd show you these models, but it's so windy they're literally just going to end up on the floor and get damaged, sadly. But in 1940, 218 Squadron moved to Marham as also operating the Wellingtons, who eventually converted to the RAF's first 4-engine heavy bomber, which of course is the Short Stirling. And 218 Squadron, if I remember correctly, They were nicknamed the Western Supermare's own squadron. I'm pretty sure it's 218. They took part in Operation Glimmer as well, but not from here, during D-Day. And Marham was getting busy, and in 1941, 105 Squadron arrived as well with the Merlin-powered wooden legend that we all know as the Mosquito. Now, Marham became a Pathfinder force as well and tested out precision bombing aids such as the Oboe. And it was also home to 1655 Training Unit, MTU, that was between 42 and 43, and also operating the Mosquito was also here a secret unit as well, the 1418 Flight, who were a bombing development unit. Now, it's amazing what you come across when you're learning history about bases, and and then sometimes you kind of interlink them as well together. It's fascinating stuff when you're going along and you're learning about one squadron and then you're coming across another story to tell. But I'm a bit gutted I haven't got the other models up here. It's getting really bad. It's getting even worse. But yeah, Marham had a absolutely exceptional history here, and it was on the another one, a story that I like to tell about Marham. Marham actually really upset a couple of people in Berlin. It was on the 30th of January 1943, and Germany was celebrating and holding special rallies for the 10th anniversary of Hitler's rise to power. Reich Marshal Hermann Göring was to deliver a special broadcast via radio, the Third Reich at 1100 local from the their air ministry building, and it was a special day for Göring and Reichsmeister Joseph Goebbels addressing thousands and thousands of crowds assembled in the Schöneberg Sportpalast, Berlin's biggest indoor sports stadium. Now, meanwhile, back at Marham, they were like, nah, they're not going to have their party. We can't have that there now. We can't do that. We gotta sort this out. Marham had other ideas for their celebrations, and well, they did a daylight bombing raid. Now, it wasn't really to, there wasn't really a target. Their mission was to spoil the party. I mean, if you're going to spoil a party, then Marham is your place. But it was at 8:45 in the morning, 0845. 3 de Havilland Mosquitoes of 105 Squadron took off from Marham and went straight to Berlin. Now, these 3 flew at wave top height across the North Sea before climbing to 25,000 feet, in and out of clouds, and they met no opposition. I guess they weren't expecting a daylight raid. And they approached Berlin and into clear skies, and they descended to low level, which the Mosquitoes were excellent at. They went in to run in for the target, which was the Haus der Rundfunks, headquarters of the German State Broadcasting Company. Now, despite having flown some 500 miles to do this, in difficult weather at first, but they were exactly on time, as the RAF do. And as Göring began to speak, air raid warnings sounded in Berlin, anti-aircraft guns started to blast, and literally Göring was just about to go, everyone, mi scusi, that's Italian, no, it's warning, Achtung, no, guten Tag, my friends. Yeah, while he stepped up to open his mouth to say the first few words, well, all you've got is anti-aircraft guns firing and blasting away, Merlin engines roaring, exploding 500-pound bombs could be heard. The broadcasting engineers shut down the transmission, and listeners were instead treated to scratchy recordings of classical music from Bach and Mozart for over an hour before the furious Göring was able to return to the microphone. Now, the bombing was inaccurate. It did little damage, but the effect was exactly what the RAF had hoped for, and all 3 Mosquitoes returned safely. Now, at 13:25 local in the afternoon, just before 105 Squadron crews, 3 Mosquitoes of 139 Jamaica Squadron took off from Marham and did the same thing. They followed the similar route, reported some filthy weather, but thing is, I think they were waiting for them, and they weren't gonna just not expect another one. But anyway, they the next three of 138, again, Goebbels stepped up to the lectern at the Schöneberg Sportpalast rally, and the Mosquitoes arrived over Berlin in clear skies. This time, however, the defences were on full alert and sent up great fusillade of anti-aircraft fire. Now, the radio broadcasting engineers stayed with Goebbels, so they kept it going with all this blasting. I'd love to hear that. All the blasting going on, and he delivered his address punctuated by the faint sounds of bomb blasts, roaring Merlin engines and anti-aircraft fire. Now, like earlier raid, the attack did little damage, but nonetheless created the desired effect. But sadly, as the Mosquitoes raced away, DZ-367 was hit by flak and crashed, killing both of the crew. Squadron leader Donald Darling, DFC, and flying officer Bill Wright. In the Mosquito, they sat side by side as where they fell. That's where they rest today. In a Commonwealth War Cemetery, 1939 to 45, in a Berlin Commonwealth War Cemetery within the city limits. The other two Mosquitoes returned safely, having outrun the Luftwaffe's FW-190s, which attempted to intercept them. The 5 crews which returned from this, the first daylight raid on Berlin, were all decorated, and it was Squadron Leader Reynolds was awarded a DSO, Distinguished Service Order. The other officers also received a DFC, and the Flight Sergeant and Sergeants received DFMs as well. The press were there, and I mean, they just stuck a mic to them after that. And I remember the last lines of one of the pilots said, but it was steak and chips, which was well worth flying to Berlin for. That's just so RAF, isn't it? Absolutely incredible. Woo! Goodness me. But yeah, that's Marham for you, bless them. That's oh gosh, I'm trying to hang on to my notes here before they literally take off into the wind. So we've had Mosquitoes, we've had all sorts of beautiful aircraft, the Wellington, the Sterling, the Harrow, and then eventually Marham was supposed to have, Marham was going to have another legend. Now, Marham was eventually chosen to become a VHB. Now, I say this when we're at Lakenheath, and the base closed. Now, a VHB is a very heavy bomber base. Closed this airfields along with Lakenheath and Sculthorpe, and it was to be expanded and have 3 longer hardened runways in the Class A configuration. So it closed its runways and hangars. Oh, we got more! We've got more, man. We've got more F-35s. There we go. So the Class A configuration, that's your 1 long runway and 2 subsidiaries. Now remember, grass runways were fine, you know, for light bombers and Spitfires and Hurricanes and fighters, because okay, say you got a grass runway, you look at, even the land there, but when we turn the camera around, all that vicinity, if your runway was attacked, your grass runway, there was going to be some stretch of land that your Spitfire could take off from. But as aircraft got heavier and drainage wasn't as good as hardened runways, you had to kind of adapt, and it was the Lancaster that kind of really, and the B-17s with the United States Army Air Force arriving with the B-17s and B-24s, they really needed hardened runways. So Marham, like Lakenheath and Sculthorpe, were chosen to have their runways closed during a period and develop into the hardened runways. Now, the Air Ministry said that all runways that were going to be built after December 1940, so those that were planned, had to be built with concrete hardened runways, because of course aircraft were being developed, bigger aircraft, heavy aircraft. It was time to make sure that they were, more adaptable to new aircraft. So in 1946, testing out the new runways were the Lancasters of the Royal Air Force, B-17s and B-29s of the US Army Air Force. And it was there was a project called Project Ruby, it was called. This project was a series of test trials testing the effectiveness of deep penetration bombs and Grand Slam and Disney. Also B-50s were here, B-29s. were present at Marham between 48 and 1950, with the 2nd Bombardment Group and the 307th Bombardment Group, who eventually made Lakenheath their new home, because in 1948 Lakenheath became a US Air Force base, and away they went over there. On the 22nd of March 1950, 470 Boeing Washingtons B-1s arrived at Marham. Now, Boeing Washingtons are the Royal Air Force's name for a B-29. Oh, thank you. So we've had something fly. Thanks. Oh, that's very thank you very much. Oh, it's very. Oh, okay, mate.
All right.
There's more going up in a minute.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, they're started.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to stay for that. All right. Just thought I'd let you know.
Thank you.
No worries. Yeah, they'll be taxiing very shortly because I can hear them running.
Brilliant.
All right. No problem. Oh my word. So yeah, the B-29 in the RAF, it was called a Boeing Washington, just like the Boeing Fortress 1, 2 and 3, as we discovered the models the other day. Do you remember? They're B-17s, and it was actually the Royal Air Force that first used the B-17. I think it was 90 Squadron and Coastal Command 214 and other various units used the B-17, but we called them the Boeing Fortress 1, 2 and 3. Was it, do you know, forgot the models. They had the E, the F and the G, didn't they? They had a couple of E models, the real different design on the E, G, yes. I'm just trying to think, B-17G, wasn't it? Yeah, something like that. We'll get there. We'll get there. I think it was the B-17D or E. They trialled the E, but it skipped it. So there we go. So we had the Boeing Washington, and then Marham eventually had its first jet aircraft, just like Coningsby. It was the English Electric Canberra, and eventually the Vickers Valiant and the Handley Page Victor were here, and they were part of the V-Force. And the Victors were converted to the tanker role rather than a bomber role, and were flown by 55 and 57. So the development of this really gave the Royal Air Force that era of air-to-air refueling. So, you know, it entered that era, and of course Marham played a crucial role in the most complex and longest bombing raid at that time in history, and it provided the air-to-air refueling for the Vulcan bombers to go to the Falkland Islands. Now, these operations actually took off from the Ascension Islands for those. So yeah, there was the Black Buck raids. Goodness me, it's so windy, isn't it? But there we go. So, you know, we're talking quite a few tasty aircraft that were here, and the Canberra played a massive part here, you know. Goodness me. The Canberra was in service here for way over 50 years here, would you believe? And, you know, a new era came along, and I know people get excited. They get excited. A new era for Marham came. It was the first Tornado GR1 was delivered here. It was ZA601, and that was on the 24th of April 1982. So 2 years before Coningsby received their Tornadoes, and it was in preparation for the reformation of, goodness me, 617 Squadron. It looks quite emotional. Oh my goodness me, it's getting worse, isn't it? Man, that's bad. Hang on, that's bad, that is. So yeah, so 617 stood up on the 1st of January 1983. This was shortly followed by 27 Squadron, which reformed at Marham on the 12th of August 1983. What's fascinating is that 27 Squadron operate the Chinook. Imagine that. So someone asked about, can you transition from the Tornado to F-35B? Well, you certainly can go from Tornado to Chinook. 57 Squadron disbanded at Marham on the 30th of June 1986. This left 55 Squadron as the last K2 Victor Squadron and at the base, and it was number 55, the last of the RAF Victor Squadrons, disbanded at Marham on the October 1993, with the last Victor to leave departing in November. Now, while the Tornado legacy began at Marham and the Victors coming to an end, the Canberras were still going from the 50s, and in December 1993, 39 one photographic reconnaissance unit arrived at Marham. I've just realised I've actually got to change the battery on here. Oh, it's fine. It'll be alright. I'll do it in a minute. I just forgot. So yeah, so you had Canberra PR7s and PR9s from RAF Whitton that were here, but this lasted until the 31st of July 2006. 52 years the Canberra was here. Anyway, in 2018, 617 Squadron, the Dambusters, arrived at Marham as the first F-35B Lightning Squadron, and 207 Squadron followed in 2019, and then of course 2023 809. The RAF don't call it a Lightning 2, by the way, because it is actually their third Lightning. They had the P-38 during the Second World War, although they didn't actually use it operationally. They didn't like it because it didn't have the superchargers on them, and they thought it was underpowered. And then in the 60s we had the English Electric Lightning, and eventually this. I'll be back in a minute. I've really got to change the battery. We're running on hopes and dreams. Oh my word, it's awful, isn't it? Oh my word. Yeah, but I've been doing it on my knees, which is safer, and I've lowered the tripod low so it's quite heavier, tied it up, put some weights. Really bad today, really bad. It's all good. Well, I was predicting just 2 today, but these coming out is really good. So I can't remember how many we got.
There's not many on base at the moment.
No, I mean, a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I think it was, I had 9 in total.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Which wasn't bad. It's not bad.
No, it's good.
I know it's not.
Only got 2 or 3 here.
Yeah. I mean, once you see a vertical landing, that you're sorted.
That's my first time I've seen it.
No.
Yeah.
See, even if you see one, it's amazing.
Yeah, well, I don't normally come up this track, but I wasn't sure if you was allowed to go up here or not.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
go.
so I normally go at the top of the hill.
Oh, I know.
You can't see that much down the bottom over there.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people go over there.
Yeah.
But you get a good view of the vertical landings here.
This is brilliant, yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, brilliant.
Oh.
Have you got some drink? Do you want some water?
I've got some. Thank you. I've got plenty. No, thank you. It's very kind of you. Sometimes I do forget, so appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries.
be taxiing out very shortly. Sounds like we got two. I can hear more than one, so that should be good. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? So Simon Hedges, thank you for joining us. Thanks for being a member. Oi oi, James S. Hope we're all good. Oh yeah, we're running on hopes and dreams. I just like, I was thinking I haven't changed the battery all day, and I was thinking, am I even still on? That was hilarious. That was brilliant. Thanks a lot for joining us. Matthew, how you doing? Hope you're good. Gucci man, how's it going? Hope you're well. So we're very close to 99,000 subscribers. So if you are if you are new to the channel and love military aviation, now it's not usually done this way. Today is an exception. The tripod is set up very differently just to cope. I'm filming on my hands and knees because it is really horrendous up here. But hey, you know, we get by. I'm kind of used to all sorts of weather being thrown at me. So yeah, there we go. So thank you for joining us, and make sure you hit the like button as well. Give us a thumbs up, and do subscribe, and also visit tedconingsby.co.uk and visit our online store. And don't forget, there is a little message on our online store. There is an additional 2-week delay, so things won't be processed until the 1st of July for t-shirts. That is only for the t-shirts. You may be lucky, we may have some in stock, but we're awaiting new stock to arrive, a new batch, so that we can get them out for you. Sounds like they're on the move. So we'll try not to get a lorry in front of us this time. That'll just be additional luck. Sandy, how you doing? Harry Mills, yes, we'll be at RIAT. Check out the noteheads to find out what days we're in. Mark Dudley, how you doing? Gucci Man, Captain A, Doctor, LEJ Approach, Davey, Mark. Let's have a look who we got there. Margot, G Van Pulliam, Mark Garwood, Scorcher. That's gotta be the worst one, isn't it? Now. Oh, you got it? Oh, look at that above us. Okay, it's on the move, here we go! Oh. You up, buddy? Yeah, but it might be a military one.
Over towards
Okay, it might be a legitimate one. So, a flight of 2 by the look of it, bolt flight. You're watching the Ted Coningsby channel, live here at RAF Marham. How we doing? A lot of birds. there's more as well, because I can hear them. There's even more running, by the way. There's more running.
Oh, you see more?
Yeah, there's more spooling in there.
Alright.
That's good, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's brilliant. It's superb. They like how hang
Well,
on.
I think so. Actually, hang on. Yes. Yeah. Sometimes the sound bounces, but I can definitely hear something in there. Awesome.
Brilliant.
Oh, that's shut down then. Here we go. Goodness me, they're really picking up. I think it's shut down. By the way, I think it's shut down.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I heard it just wind down, so unless they're getting a spare.
Yeah. You've got two more going up.
That's alright, yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us, ladies, gents, and teddy bears, on this rather windy day here at Marham. But we're still going, we're still hanging on. Our little friends over here, look. How they're doing over there. There's Con. Hello. It's nice to have the poppies there, isn't it? Sounds like they're nearby.
Yeah, this is a good exercise, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't think they're too far away.
No, they're not, no. What, you take the mornings at all?
When the Reds are practicing, I'll be there. Yeah.
Have you seen the drone flying?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, got some good footage of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like that one.
Yeah, I'm going to go.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to go next week. I went last week, but I didn't see it. So I'm hoping to go next week.
Yeah, I think they're up there.
Yeah.
Struer, thanks for your 10-month membership. Guards March. Please put oi oi everyone. Wee Stevie Boy, thank you very much for the super sticker, Guards March. And Matt, thanks for the super chat. I hope Ted is having fun parasailing. Probably, I think Reggie is. Kevin Marshall, thanks for your 13-month membership. Oi oi Ted, Nikos and TCS. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much. And we're not far now from 99k. We've just got it's about a handful to go. Careful, Ted. Ted's done well having that beret still on, so that's good.
Having some tea. There's a gang, Grand Crew Druid, goodness me, it's
absolutely Morecambe Mindy like never before. I mean, I reckon it's having a bubble bath this weather in this wind. Unbelievable, isn't it? Hope you're all good and well. How you all doing? My name's Grand Crew Drew. Just been helping out today over there at 207 Squadron, just making sure everything's all tip-top. Do you know what I mean? They can always use an extra pair of jazz bands. That's right. Yeah, if you're Grand Crew, you've got to have a good set of mince pies, bit of a noodle, good set of jazz bands, some longers and lingers, and you're going to be on your plates of meat for quite a while. That's what it's all about. Do you know what I mean? Goodness me. Yeah, it's all good. All is good. Yeah, and then we're just going to crash out the officers' mess, have some scran and have a game of cards or something. But we had a bit of a problem today because someone glued all the cards together. I know you won't believe it. I know they were having trouble. They were having a really hard time dealing with it. Do you know what I mean? Unbelievable. But there we go. It's all good. All is good. Do you know what I mean? Hope we're all having a good time, whether you're watching on the wobbly jelly, your dog and bone, or your lamb chop. Don't forget to hit the like button. Oh yeah. Hey, oi. Hey, how you doing there? What's going on? How you doing there, Reggie? You alright? Oh, I'm alright, Ronald. What's going on around here, Ronald? Well, I've just been doing a bit of work over at 207 with the ground crew, you know what I mean? Oh, nice, Ronald. I've just been doing me perimeter checks, regiment and all that there. Mate, it looks like you're doing a bit of aerodynamic braking. Oh yeah, me jacket. Yeah, I like it like it's pretty good, isn't it? You taught me about the aerodynamic braking. Reggie, hang in there, mate. Crew, help me. Oh, yeah, just do it your jacket, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's causing a bit of aero braking. Yeah, it's out there now. It's all about the aero braking around there now. What's going on over there? Oh, look at this, 3 little pigs over there. Now, prefer me chucking there now. That's all right, isn't it? Yeah. So what's been going on? Oh, like I said there now, just doing me perimeter checks, just make sure it's all good. These are funny little, pretty little planes, aren't they? They over around. I love me over on me F-35H. An F-35H? Yeah. Dyson edition. It hovers and hoovers. Does it? Yeah, you told me about it. I went to Argos and ordered it. I got 2. Oh, that's amazing. An F-35A. Yeah, hovers and hoovers at the same time. Mrs. loves it there now. Yeah, that's right. Yep, she's all good there now. Sound like a pirate. Ah, it's because I are. Okay, well, Nate, well, it seems quite interesting. Should we go over there and have a look? Oh, let's go have a look there now. Hey, oi. Oi, oi. Oink, oink. Mate, he's having a bubble, isn't he? Nice. Right, what's going on over there? Clever, how you doing? I hope you're good. Still going, still hanging on this atrocious weather. So, 207 Squadron that we've been seeing a lot of lately, and it's a bit like Coningsby. They're the ones that you see the most at Coningsby. It is essential for training and converting the pilots to their new aircraft. And 207 Squadron is a very historic bomber squadron, and they are the operational conversion unit for both the Royal Air Force and the Royal Navy. And they started life out as number 7 Royal Naval Air Squadron from the B Squadron of number 4 Wing RNAS on the 31st of December 1916 at Petit-Saint in France. They were flying the Royal Aircraft Factory BE-2s. It's quite popular, that one that I always mentioned during the sort of World War I era. They were also flying the Handley Page 0100s and the 0400s as well. They did become 14 Squadron RNAS, while 7 Squadron continued with 10 0100s and 8 0400s. Until eventually, when the formation of the Royal Air Force was established on the 1st of April 1918, they then became 207 Squadron Royal Air Force. And they moved to Netheravon, again operating Handley Pages 0100s and 0400s as well. And they did return to France as well for a short period of time. And it also moved to Germany as part of the Army of Occupation in January 1919. During the interwar period, they were operating aircraft such as the Airco DH-9As, the Fairey 3Fs, Fairey Gordon. They spent some time at Cottesmore, and eventually in April 1940, the squadron's training role was assumed by number 12 Operational Training Unit, and this allowed 207 to reform on the 1st of November. And they were part of number 5 group at RAF Waddington. The squadron's crews were assigned to become the first of the new introduced Avro Manchester, which we've spoken about the problems that it had, and having dozens and dozens of times that it'd been grounded and didn't see the end of the war. And it was really in some ways a double-edged sword, because if it wasn't for the engines really letting the aircraft down, we wouldn't have had the Avro Lancaster. And that's all because of the Avro and Roy Chadwick deciding to, rather than commit to trying to fix the engine problems of the Rolls-Royce Vulture, which, you know, on paper was you know, a fantastic engine producing, you know, 1760 you know, horsepower, and sadly it didn't work out, because the engine started to have various issues such as ball bearing issues where they used to overheat and the engines would catch fire. So usually it was very good on the way in on the bombing run, but on the way back it was very common to hear that one of the engines was on fire and the other one wasn't too good. It was very, very common, and some did suffer on takeoffs. The propellers started to feather, and you know, it was really a product of what do we do for Roy Chadwick. The airframe was beautiful, it was spot on, but in the end he decided to work with the airframe, extend the wingspan by 12 feet, giving it around 112 feet. Sorry, 102 feet. Sorry, wingspan. Sorry about that. I'm thinking of something else there. 102 feet. Added 4 new engines, which was the Rolls-Royce Merlins, the Merlin 20s. But at first, it was designated as a prototype BT-308, which had 3 tails. It had a central tail, just like the very first Mark I Avro Manchester. But in the end, DG595 did away with that. They extended the H-tail, the width, by 3 meters, I think 1.5 meters either side. And they were going to call it the Avro Manchester Mark III, but in the end, it was called the Avro Lancaster, which they did operate 207 Squadron in 1942. Thank you very much. I've got the news. We've just hit 99k. Get in. Now the squadron relocated to RAF Langer from Waddington on the 21st of September as well. And the squadron were going to become part of the Tiger Force as well, but that didn't go ahead, of course, until the squadron relocated to RAF Methwold, which is not too far away from here. So they did spend a brief time at RAF Mildenhall 207 in 1949, briefly replacing the Lancasters with the Avro Lincoln, and the squadron was disbanded once more in 1950, but they did reform a year later at Marham here, and they operated the Boeing Washington, as we mentioned. They operated that until 1954, when they replaced those with the English Electric Canberra. And again, another disbandment in 1956, and that was towards the end of March. But just a few days later, they reformed again. So literally 27th of March 1956, they disbanded but reformed a few days later on the 1st of April 56, and they were operating the Vickers Valiant B1, and the squadron were deployed to RAF Lucca, Malta, to take part in the Suez campaign. They flew 11 sorties over Egypt between October and November. They also flew the de Havilland Devon, which the Battle of Britain Memorial flight once had that in their inventory, I believe. And the squadron reformed once more on the 3rd of February 1969, this time based at RAF Norfolk. They also operated Tucano at RAF Linton on Ouse, and it was on the 12th of July 2002, one of the flying training squadrons operating the short Tucano T1s with number 1 Flying Training School. This was renumbered to 207 Reserve Squadron. And again, as they do, squadrons disband, they come back, and they did disband for another occasion as well on the 13th of Jan 2012, but it took 7 years later for them to have a new type of aircraft. Oh yes, the F-35B. I don't know if this is going out or going back in. I'm not actually sure. Don't know what's happened to that. Looks like it's maybe just a little test there now. Flexing. Thank you so much. 99k. Goodness me, my little channel. Wow. Under 1,000 to go. My little channel, even at 100k, you know, I'll still call it the little channel. Oh man, 100k coming up now. It's the countdown now, isn't it? Yes, yeah. My name is Jens from Germany. How are you? Yes. Yeah. You there, Red Ted? How are you? You good? My name is Jens from Germany. You must take me to your commander. Come back at once. Come, Sean. What are you doing? Yeah, that's it. Discipline. Thank you. It's very good, isn't it? Yes. Now, Red Ted. Red Ted, where are you? Ah. How are you? My name is Jens. Bundesliga. Who watches the Bundesliga? Yes, you must watch it. It's good for you. It's where the Jürgen Klinsmann was created. It's where everything was dreams of made. And it was very good. It was all the Bundes. Very good. What up? You there from the Mildenhall? How are you? How are you, Casey? My name is Jens from Germany. I'm mighty fine, sir. How are you? Yes, I'm very good. I am just enjoying these F-35B. They're very good. I like the way they hover, just like Klinsmann. Say what? Jürgen, you don't know Jürgen. I must brief you on Jürgen Klinsmann. Now you must do as I say. What do you mean, sir? What am I doing? You must do the Jürgen Klinsmann. Okay, what am I doing? Now yes, you must go like this. That's it, a little bit more. Come this way, come Sean. Yes, that's what it. Whoa, what are you doing? He's doing the Jürgen. So my Bundes.
Now you ain't seen this before there now. This is the F-35H there now, Hoovers. My missus loves this one there now. Yeah, that's it there now. That's it. I bought this at my local Wargos there, just tapped in a few numbers there, missus loves it. Look at it. That lift fan there now. Scoops out, use a hairdryer there now. If you spill any, you spill a bit of curry or a bit of rice on the floor there now, just quickly scoop it out there now. That's what it's all about. See ya.
Okay, so our fly of 2 are not far away. I think they're on recovery now, so won't be too long. If the wind can just behave itself just for a little bit, might get some nice shots of the flight of 2. had our vertical landing fixed earlier today, but will we get another 2? Let's have a look. Will it be on a straight in? Oh, I think they're coming in straight in, I think. Oh no, never mind. We did get to see 2 beautiful vertical landings today. So there are, like I said in previous streams, there are pros and cons with regards to landings and takeoffs in this spot, but there is the other spot where they're just coming into land. Oh, some serious aero braking. Look at that. Oh. So yeah, unfortunately, that's the gamble, isn't it? On military aviation, everything's a bit of a risk. Yeah, the other one's coming straight. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, that's it then. No worries. Well, there you go. A delightful day. Nice break though, wasn't it? That wind. So as we finish up, James S, thank you very much. Guards March, thank you very much for gifting a Ted Coningsby membership. High five, thank you. And Cox, thank you very much for the super chat. Great streaming, Nikos and Ted, splendiferous show today. Thank you. F-35B, brilliant. Steve Griffiths, member for 26 months, well done on 99k, thank you. And Cox, member for 14 months as well. Wowzeroonie, 14 months flew by. Hello Nikos and Ted and TCS, Spanner Crew. Love this channel. Best ever channel ever of aviation experience. Thank you. Don Castellas, thank you very much for the super chat. We Stevie Boy as well, Guards March, thanks for the super sticker. Margot, thanks again for the super sticker as well. Guards March. Graham Robert, petrol for Ted Salmon, thank you very much. The Greenall family, high five, welcome to the Ted Coningsby Squadron, Guards March. We Stevie Boy, Guards March, thanks for the super sticker. Margot, thanks for the super sticker as well. Jojo, member for 14 months. 14 months already. Love this channel. Thank you so much. Strua, member for 10 months. Oi, oi, everyone. Oi, oi to you. Thank you very much. Well, that's us done. We are finishing up, packing up, and Kebab wrapped it up now. So, ladies, gents, teddy bears, thank you so much for tuning in today. Now, we're not streaming tomorrow. We're going to have a day off tomorrow because the weather looks a bit emotional. But we will be back on Wednesday. There's already a streamed scheduled in there for Mildenhall. So, a little bit of heavy action as well. But remember, be safe out there when visiting airfields, okay? This day and age that we're in at the moment, it's all over the place. So just be mindful of what's about and you know, be safe than sorry. If you see anything suspicious, please report it. So thank you very much to everyone at RAF Marham. Thank you very much. And of course, all our viewers, thank you very much for tuning in today. You've been tuned in to the Ted Coningsby channel, haven't they, Ted? I know. My name's Nikos, cameraman, historian and commentator. This is our squadron leader, Ted Coningsby, and you've been watching the Ted Coningsby channel live on a windy day here at RAF Marham. So for the last time for today, it's see you soon. Wish you well. See ya! Oh, liquid. Guards march, thank you. High five, thanks for joining the Ted Coningsby squadron. Just caught that at the end there now. Guards march, thank you very much. See ya! Oh yeah, ladies, sheds and teddy bears, welcome to the Ted Coningsby channel membership. I'm Nikos, I'm your cameraman and commentator. This is our squadron leader, Ted Coningsby. Just want to say a massive thank you to all our members. Guns up and oh yeah. Take it away, Ted. Ladies, sheds and teddy bears, we want to say a massive thank you to all of our subscribers for getting us to where we are today. We have gone all over the country, from as far as Lossiemouth to Bryce Norton, and military areas such as air weapons ranges, low flying areas, heritage centres and special flights for TED 2. We cannot do this without your support, and your support will be rewarded. You can now join the Ted Coningsby squadron and help fund the channel to get us around the country and provide us with the funds for equipment to bring you better content too. We have 3 exciting membership levels with awesome YouTube perks to reward you back for your support. Our first level of membership is the Ted Coningsby squadron. You'll get a loyalty badge on YouTube, unique TCS emojis that you can use on comments and live streams, members only videos which include behind the scenes, deleted scenes, sneak previews and also music videos that Ted likes to play the electric guitar on. You'll also get access to members only Discord server and discount on all of our Ted Coningsby merchandise. All of this for just $1.99 a month. Oh yeah. Our second level of membership is the Posh Officers Club. This includes all of the squadron perks, private Posh Officers Discord chat room, Posh Officers discounts on all of our Ted Coningsby merchandise, and the poshness of supporting the TCS even more. This is just £4.99 a month. Our third level was inspired by many of our fans who have been supporting the channel massively. So we'd love to reward you back with this, and our third level of membership is the Ted Coningsby Fighter Squadron. This gives you a more personal experience with me and Ted. with exclusive live streams and content. You'll get a free Ted Coningsby Fighter Squadron patch, a private Ted Coningsby Fighter Squadron Discord chat room, a gold colour Discord username, and a higher discount on all of our Ted Coningsby merchandise. All this for just $25.99 a month. Ladies, gents and teddy bears, the Ted Coningsby channel cannot thank you enough for all your support. And it's this support that keeps the dream, keeps the stream. Thank you so much. Aw, yeah.
Golf India, Brian 31,